Hello and welcome to this afternoon stimulus package update. Today we have a lot to talk about actually. We have a lot to talk about with the Paycheck Protection Program and what exactly is going on the second day of funding and issues with the E-Tran system. We have some updates with the EIDL grant program. We have some more interesting questions that you guys asked. I have the answers to. And we have more on a second stimulus package, just some minor details there on what potentially might happen. So getting right into it, today is the second day of funding for the second round of Paycheck Protection funding. And numerous banks reported that yesterday it was just an absolute disaster to submit loan documents through the SBA's E-Tran system. This system is basically like a portal for lenders to submit documents through, submit their clients' documents, and then get approval from SBA, and then get funding. So it was reported that nearly double the amount of applications were attempted to be submitted yesterday into the E-Tran system versus any given day in the first round of funding. And that just caused some major issues and glitches and delays with this system. And a major issue with the first round of the E-Tran system was it seemed preferential towards larger lenders and larger loans to big institutions, where many small and minority type lenders either had issues getting into the system, issues understanding how it even works, or weren't simply qualified to submit loans at all. So major concerns were brought up with this system by the Democratic Party and how the SBA should explain to small lenders how this system works, either through like a webinar or better documentation, and to allow lenders with less than $50 million in loan volume to actually submit these loan applications. So this overwhelmed E-Tran system locked out many bankers yesterday and prevented basically a lot from happening and frustrated a bunch of bankers. More businesses are left without funding for at least an additional day. Who knows, how much they can fix in one single day from yesterday to today. We'll see what exactly happens today. As of yesterday at 3:30 p.m., the SBA announced that it processed over 100,000 loans during the day, just yesterday. There's no note as to whether processed means they approved those, they received the documents, they funded those. Who knows what exactly processed means, but they claim that 100,000 loans were actually processed yesterday. I'm not sure the total amount that were attempted to be submitted. I'm not even sure they know the total amount because people were being locked out. As far as what I can tell with the E-Tran system, there's some kind of system within that makes it so you can only submit so many applications at once. That way, larger lenders don't just budge out the smaller lenders and get all their loans processed while the smaller lenders are sitting on the wayside. And it seems like that feature caused even more issues from what I can tell. On some more paycheck protection news, the LA Lakers, it's revealed, was another large entity that had been reported to receive a paycheck protection loan of $4.6 million. However, basically as soon as I found that out, there was more news that came out that they returned the $4.6 million. Now, I recently did a video on a company that's worth more than $400 million and how they managed to get a paycheck protection program, and basically how the system is set up that allows a company like that to even get one of these loans in the first place. If you're interested in that, you can check out that other video. I go into depth on the craziness of this system. Since the time I recorded that video, as of the time of recording it, 75 public companies had received funding through the Paycheck Protection Program. However, some of which have returned funds, mostly public-facing companies that are like selling things to consumers that consumers see every single day. They put pressure on these companies, they return the funds. However, there's a lot of companies that have not returned the funds. And further digging has been done by scraping through SEC filings. And it's estimated that over 200 public companies have received funding and are still holding on to funding through the Paycheck Protection Program in the first round of funding. I'll link a site in the description that shows a comprehensive list of these companies, how much they received. In a lot of cases, it's situations where they're using nuances of the rules with the 500 employees per location exceptions and using subsidiaries and other ways in order to receive this funding. It's absolutely crazy that it's even happening. But Moving on, as of today, 9.96% of businesses, small businesses who have applied to the Paycheck Protection Program have received funding. This is up from 9.8% yesterday. Not a huge increase, but I'm glad to see that it's not stagnant. And I'm really hoping that this E-Tran system gets the kinks worked out so more people can receive funding sooner. I applied for my business on the first day it was open, on I think the 3rd of April, and I have not yet received anything. Also, as of today, according to a poll of over 24,000 businesses on covidloantracker.com, 11.6% of small businesses have received the EIDL grant money. This is up from 11.2% yesterday. It's not as big of an increase as we saw yesterday, but again, at least it is an increase. Also in EIDL news, the $10,000 grant that all applying businesses were set to receive may not actually be a pipe dream anymore. Originally, small businesses were promised that $10,000 payment no matter the size, shape, what you do, how many people are in your business, whatever. However, due to lack of funds, they later on said you're going to get $1,000 per employee through this grant program, limiting the amount that companies receive. Most companies, especially independent contractors, sole proprietors, people like that with either no or one employees, ended up getting like $1,000. However, there's some more information coming out. I'm in the process of going through some interesting documents that might show that all businesses could still receive this $10,000 grant. I'm going to have more on this tomorrow morning. I'll have a video on it, but I just want you guys to know that there might actually be some hope here on actually receiving more money through the EIDL grant program, and I'm really excited about that. So moving on to your guys' questions that you left on yesterday's video. This has been pretty popular. Basically, I ask, if you have questions that I have not answered, put them in the comments. If I see it and I have a good answer, I will address it on the next video. It's been working pretty well, and I think I'll keep doing it. So Katrina Gonzalez asks, will employers be charged for the $600 a week PUA unemployment payment? And the answer is no. The pandemic unemployment insurance is a large part of the CARES Act and to be paid by the CARES Act. Originally, these $600 payments were going to be sent to people directly through the federal government, kind of like how the stimulus is being sent out. However, later on, for whatever reason, it was decided to send those payments to the states, and then the states would disperse those payments on top of unemployment payments through the state to individuals. Now, the interesting thing with these unemployment insurance, the pandemic unemployment insurance, is non-traditional workers, independent contractors, self-employed individuals can apply and get that $600 per week unemployment. That does not mean you will also get the state unemployment if you're an independent contractor or self-employed. The next question, Elizabeth Otero asks, I have a college student who is not claimed on anyone's taxes. Is he eligible for the stimulus payment? And if so, what does he need to do? Well, that's pretty simple. He is eligible if he works and needs to file taxes. Then simply all he needs to do is file his taxes and he'll receive that stimulus. If he files electronically, he'll likely receive the stimulus quicker. If he did not work or does not need to file taxes, then all he needs to do is fill out that non-filers tool on the IRS website. Pretty simple. Next question, Huge Gizmo 1 asks, if I filed with my girlfriend as a dependent on my tax return, will she get the $1,200 or will she get $500? Well, Gizmo, assuming that your girlfriend is over 17 years old, unfortunately, she will neither receive the $1,200 or the $500. You also will not receive the $500 dependent payment, assuming she's over 17 years old. On to the next section. People keep asking me, will there be another stimulus? I have a little bit of news here that I thought was interesting enough to put on a video. As you likely know, it's stimulus season. There's all sorts of stimulus proposals. We have that $2,000 a month stimulus. We have the $2,000 up front and then $1,000 a month stimulus. We have the cancellation of rent and mortgage stimulus. All of these going on, but there's been some hinting that if a second stimulus comes along, it could just be another one-time payment. This is what actually happened with the first stimulus. Originally, it was going to be 2 payments of $1,000, and then it ended up being 1 payment of $1,200. So it may just be a single payment, or a second stimulus might not be money directly put in your pocket at all. There's been some more hinting through Trump and Nancy Pelosi's support that a second stimulus might be in the form of upgraded infrastructure. This would include helping either build or repair roads, bridges, tunnels, and waterways. The plan could help create jobs, provide upgraded infrastructure, obviously, and help reopen the economy more quickly. So another stimulus might potentially be something different altogether. So I'm curious, what are your guys' thoughts on this? Would you rather see massive upgrades to infrastructure like roads or broadband systems, or would you rather see another stimulus payment in your bank account? And also, would you rather see that? And which one do you think would have a better impact on the economy in the long term? So you guys always have really interesting comments, so I'd be really interested to see what exactly your thoughts are on that. That's all I have for today. I'd like to thank you for watching, and as always, I hope you have a profitable day.